All right. Hello, everybody. How are you
Hello,
doing? I
George.
hope you're good.
Good evening.
I hope everybody's good. Yes, I'm good. Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
That's right. Roxanne,
I'm
Daddy,
fine,
how are
George.
you
I'm doing.
doing? Good stuff. Jerry, how are you doing, Jerry?
I'm fine. George, long time.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's good to see you today. Roxanne, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, I think it's good. Let's mute our Zoom. Let's all mute our links and let's say hello to everybody joining us on YouTube because we are live on YouTube. First thing to say is that we are sorry because some of you would have realized that I was running the rounds. I had to be in Krobo. That was yesterday to check out Thomas Partey and his family and all of that. So we couldn't have our usual meeting normally after the game. The right thing would have been to have sat down right after the Southampton 3-3 Chelsea. But it's good. At least we had some time to reflect on everything that has happened. I could see that the pages were on fire right from the off. And it hasn't stopped. The fire is still ongoing. You know, we've had amazing sound bites, but I think it's been a crazy weekend, if we all will agree. The very last game we were watching, the one we just finished watching with Lanzini's super goal in the end, and how Tottenham will go up by 3-0 and, you know, still end up drawing. But the important thing is, even though people couldn't get the win, there are a lot of draws already. 7 games played, we have 5 draws. It obviously gave you an opportunity to go up the table and get the points. So we'll talk about our own issues. We'll talk about what we need to do and what we have not been doing. So thank you very much for joining us wherever you are doing so. We're live and interactive. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm going to make the link available right now on YouTube as well, so that you can just click on YouTube and join us. I think I'll just do that. Okay, so let's start with how you are feeling. Bashiru, let's start with you. Please, if you're not speaking, kindly mute your laptop or whatever it is. Let's start with Bashiru. Bashiru Kante, how are you feeling? Tell me, you after watching the game and everything till today, how are you feeling, man?
Very well. I think the match was somehow good. Then later, it didn't turn bad. But I think the only mistake that Lampard did was putting Mount in instead of Loftus-Cheek. Sorry, Hudson-Odoi. That was the only thing that I found out. So that was just weird. But I think everything was okay. Just that defense, we are not okay. But I think we'll get there.
Okay, that's Bashiru. Let's go to Anthony Brain. It's Anthony Brain, right? Am I right with that? Anthony Brain?
Yeah, it's Anthony Brain, George.
Okay, Anthony Ajani. Okay,
And
Anthony Brain.
I don't say
then your brain will be small.
Oh, Charlie, no be small. And I always say good evening.
Good evening to everybody.
Yeah,
all right, good
George,
stuff.
I was disappointed yesterday. On serious note, I was really disappointed. And I'll have to be honest and say this. Maybe a lot of people be disappointed in me, but I don't think Lampard can send us to the promised land. I have to be sure, because watching the game yesterday, we know that last season our best player left because you couldn't get any players, but you can't make this in. Let's be Thiago against Crystal Palace. Thiago was this in. Look at all the players who traveled to Brazil. They all came back. Richarlison all played game yesterday. How can you still be telling us Thiago is not ready? Every day somebody is not fit for a game, and you have to think of the game currently. He's thinking of the Champions League game next day on Tuesday, but you have to think of yesterday's game. The game is important. First, Stamford Bridge is supposed to be a place. If teams are coming, they are afraid. But now Stamford Bridge tends to be a place where if you are coming, they are no more afraid anymore. How come Southampton will come yesterday? Look at the games these guys put up yesterday, and we still drew that game. I was totally disappointed. I won't lie to you.
Okay, that's your initial, comment. That's good. Let's go to Nyame Kofi. Nyame Kofi, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm doing great, my boss.
Right. So, how was everything really for you? I mean, looking at Spurs, looking at everything that has happened, are you changing your mind or your initial thoughts after the game? Nyame, we are struggling with your internet. So whilst we wait for you, let's go to Daniel. Daniel, how is everything with you? How are you feeling after some 24 hours after the game?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Daniel. Let's hear from you.
Oh, yesterday, most people are saying they were disappointed, but to me, I wasn't much disappointed because we already know that Chelsea has a problem in the defense. And because of that, the problem we have, that's why Lampard is trying to find a solution to the problem at the back. Since last season, Chelsea is able to score goals. And we saw it in the game we played yesterday. We were able to get 3 goals. So if we are able to score and Lampard is able to find a solution for the defensive issues, it means Chelsea will be done. So people should not be very much disappointed. This is a team in transition, so they should have patience and put their trust in Lampard. He'll get the job done for us.
Okay, I have patience, put your trust in Lampard. That's what he's saying. Let's come to you, Jerry. A good one, thank you. Jerry, let's hear from you as well. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling?
Yeah, good evening to all our fans who are listening across the globe. And then I must say that, yes, we have to experiment.
That's right. Good evening to you too as well.
Yeah, we have to experiment because with the number of players that Lampard has, majority of them are all playing, and these are players who have not played for a very long time together. So yes, we may have the hitches and the drops in there. So it will take a little time for Chelsea to really settle down as a team. So to me, I think we drawing yesterday against Southampton is not really a bad result. If you watch Southampton play historically, in the beginning of every season, they are really top notch. They worry the top teams a lot. So at least a draw is not bad at all. Look at the likes of Manchester United and Liverpool. They came into the league with a team that have played consistently together. Yes, they lost woefully to some result that you even be shocked. So to me, Chelsea drawing right now is not really a bad thing. But I think that there's room for improvement. And the players will also need to get along first before Lampard can really make something good out of it. We have a very good squad, but I think we need time to really put this into perspective. It is too early to condemn the coach or to blame any player right now. We need a building, and that is what Lampard is doing. The experiment is very, very important. So that going forward, maybe after January, we realize that, okay, these are players that we can start with, these are players that we can bench. But equally now, all the players are good, and I think we just need time for the players to gel together. They need to build this interpersonal relationship with each other on the pitch and off the pitch first before they can really give us something very, very imperative. So I think we need the players need time. George, that's all I can say. And Chelsea is really going to impress this season.
Players need time. That's what you can say. Okay, good stuff. Thank you. Let's go to Yao. Yao Young, what's up? You're the youngest guy on our you're the youngest guy on the channel today. Well, that's good to have you. Tell us, how do you feel? I mean, what's your feeling right now after some 24 hours watching that game? And you have to unmute for me first. Can you unmute first? Yeah, you have to unmute. Yeah, quickly unmute and then let's go. All right, so tell me.
It's great to be here. It's great to be here this evening. I'm feeling good. But to be honest, yesterday I was disappointed and I couldn't even talk. Like, I don't know what to say. You know, I'm just short of words. Looking at the game, seriously, I'm just short of words. Looking at the game, you know, we all can attest that the first half, you know, we are good, but second half, nothing better, and it's very, very devastating. My observations or my comments, excuse me, here is, you know, when you look at our players, some look really tired. Looking at Kante looks tired. Mount looks tired. And again, of late, I don't want to be talking about Lampard because every time when we keep talking about Lampard, people keep saying we have to give him time. Players needs to gel, blah blah blah. But what I keep saying is, this is Stamford Bridge. This is Chelsea. This is not Liverpool. This is not Manchester United. No, okay. So we need to do what we have to do to be ahead of those teams. If they use 2 years or 5 years to gel or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We are on our own. You see. So to be honest, yesterday I'm very, very, very disappointed. But looking at some results, over yesterday and then this evening, I think
you are feeling comfortable. You are feeling comfortable. Yeah, I know the feeling when people are screaming goal and goal and goal. It's because they think that the results are making them feel much better. But it's okay. Let's see who hasn't spoken yet. Daniel has spoken. Derry has spoken. Yao has spoken. There's a hand from Anthony Brain. But Anthony, before you speak, let's hear from Bright Squatchy. Bright, how are you doing? Thank you very much for joining us. Hello, Bright. Can you hear us? Okay. Whilst Bright is trying to get back to us, we can now get into, what we saw in the game. So let's start with Lampard's choices. And that's where most of you have been complaining. It's clear that most Chelsea fans had problems with who Lampard decided to go ahead with and his starting lineup. So, yeah, there was Pulisic. That was good news for a lot of people. But then where Pulisic will end up playing in the game and where Mason Mount will end up playing in the game was an issue. But let's start with the goalkeeper. Kepa Arrizabalaga. There were two options. Once Mendy was not in good shape, Lampard had to use either Kepa Arrizabalaga or go to Willy Caballero. Most of you think Kepa Arrizabalaga was a wrong choice to have made by the coach. Let's start with you, Yao. Was he wrong to select Kepa? Considering everything that has happened to Kepa and knowing that Kepa was kind of now cooling down his brain and his mind with so many people bashing him, wasn't Kepa under too much depth? Wasn't Willy Caballero in a better place mentally to handle this game?
George, frankly speaking, Lampard choosing Kepa, I don't see a problem about that. It's a good choice to me because this guy is very young and he really needs a lot of we need to back him no matter what. We really need to work. We really need to guard his back. So Lampard going in for Kepa yesterday, I don't have problem about Kepa at all. On that choose, yeah. But what I'm saying is, gradually, the guy is losing confidence. To be honest with you, the guy is losing confidence.
That is why, actually, yes. So that is why you don't put Kepa in because Kepa just needs a break. I don't think we all agree that Kepa is such a bad goalkeeper and he can't do anything. I just think that Kepa needs a break from all the chaos for a while before he comes back in. I mean, he needs to set his brain. On a normal day, Kepa won't run towards the ball and allow it to go past his legs.
I think that team has a very good psychologist to help him boost his
yeah, but Derry, hold on. Derry, hold on. I want to finish with Yao. Derry, hold on. I want to finish with Yao. Yeah, what do you think? Don't you think it's the time to allow Kepa to cool his head off for some time, rather than putting him in? Because there's so much pressure on Kepa that even if Kepa comes to spell his name, they'll say he didn't do it well.
Yeah, I think so. But what I'm also thinking is the moment he's being kept on a bench, I think things will get worse. That is what I think because during the international break, he was used, so I think he got a little bit of confidence over here. Okay, if my national coach can use me, and being in the post at that time with Portugal, we all saw him how lively he was. So I feel like he's kind of coming back. So Lampard using him whilst Mendy is away, to me, actually, it's not much of a problem because if we keep him on the bench like that, thinking like maybe he needs to get time to rest and all those things, I think before he comes back, it's going to be worse.
Okay, that's your point. Let me come to Derry. Derry, what do you think? Was it the right choice?
Well, I don't see Kepa being a wrong choice yesterday at all. But before the game, the last game, Frank Lampard himself said that he's going to support him and boost him mentally to just be able to get the best out of him. This is a goalkeeper who was very, very agile, very, very strong during the the previous coach era. So I don't see why now he's having problems and then we have to just bench him for that long time. Yes, benching him was good, but I think he also need the goalkeeper's trainer and the psychologist of the team to just boost him more. He wasn't bad at all yesterday. Unfortunately, that things have to go the way he go. I think that keeping him rather playing will rather give him the opportunity to boost his confidence than benching him. I don't think benching him will help at all in this circumstance that we find ourselves, especially when there's a situation where all the keepers are fatigued or they are injured, and then you have him. Are you going to bring in a dead player, keeper you've not used for a very long time into the game? And that would be worst off. So I think using him intermittently with other goalkeepers will rather help the likes of Edward and then the Ceballos. I think is not bad. Sorry, the Willie Caballero is not.
Caballero. Okay, Caballero. Caballero, you mean? Yes.
Interchangeable. Yeah.
Okay, right. That's Derry. Let me come to you, Anthony Brain. What do you think? What do you think with this goalkeeper situation? Kepa, or you'd have gone with Willie Caballero? And after this answer, I'm sure the next question is, what do we do for Kepa now? What do we do for Kepa now? But tell me, was it the right choice for you?
George, for me, it was a wrong choice for me because the guy you can see Kepa is not ready to improve. That's it. And I've listened to him after the game against Italy, and you can really see that he was saying that Chelsea is not giving, Lampard is giving this guy all the support, but he's not improving. Can we all remember against Man City, Carabao Cup final, when our former coach Sarri wanted to substitute this guy, how arrogant he was, and he refused to come out. We lost that cup. Since that day, and that was the beginning of his problem. I'll keep on telling this to Chelsea fans. That's the beginning of his problem, because his first season he kept 14 clean sheets in Premier League, and from that incident, the guy just got down because of that arrogant descent. And using him yesterday on serious, when I saw him the lineup, I was at the office. When I saw that, then I was pissed off, because on serious note, he's there every shot I see is as a goal. And look at the error. Look at the error he committed against Brighton, against Liverpool. We can't continue this season. We will not get all these players and still the same situation. How can you score 3 goals and then like all this and is just going to be just a point again? We can't continue this. And it was reported that our new keeper Mendy was injured. He will have been in the goalpost. If he's not ready to improve, why will he be there? Caballero, we see sometimes he also have an error, but is to me it's better than Kepa for right now, because Kepa is not ready to improve. So that's my decision. So I don't think we have a new goal.
That's your taking. That's your right. Let me come to you, Ebenezer. Ebenezer, so what can we do for Kepa? I mean, what can we? Is it the case of Kepa just not helping himself? Kepa just being as bad as he can be, or defenders are making it difficult for him with the back passes? I'm confused in my mind. When I talk about Kepa, I don't want to be too emotional, but my thought about Kepa is Kepa just needs a break from football. Simple and short. That's what I think. I don't know what you think. Anything we can do to help him? What's happening to Kepa?
Well, first of all, I think that Chelsea's problem is not merely about Kepa, or the loss we had yesterday is not solely dependent on.
No. We are breaking. So just we are going to break down, Ebenezer. We are breaking down the Chelsea problem. So we are starting with, it's a big problem, but we are starting with the Kepa bit. So let's deal with the Kepa side and let's see the psyche and everything. What do you think about Kepa first? Then we'll go to the other problems. There are bigger problems. Going the coach.
Well, I think that Kepa himself is not helping, or he's not helping himself. That is the first issue with Kepa. And then also, I think that he needs a psychologist to help him out with the situation he finds himself out. Because I think, in fact, I don't even really understand why Kepa is performing like this. At Atletico Bilbao, he was not like that. And he came to Chelsea last season or last 2 seasons. Kepa was performing well. So then what happened? We all don't know. In fact, I've tried myself to find out what is really happening to Kepa. I can't really find it out. So now I think that he should always be on the bench. Sure. And if you can find him some, a low move for him, then that one will be a better solution. Not a better solution, but it will help him out to go and find some confidence there to continue his performance that he was having at Atletico Bilbao. Apart from that, he will always be at the bench because looking at Mendes and his performance, it will always be Mendes being the first in group post. And then Caballero, I don't see Caballero being the second goalkeeper ahead of Kepa. So Kepa leaves. Kepa will still be the will still be the second choice for Chelsea. So if Kepa will get a low move, then they should give him a low move to go, and then he should go and then at least steady and have some confidence at wherever he will get this opportunity.
Right. I think it's very clear that Chelsea want to keep him there as a second goalkeeper. They're not looking at for any loan because I think the loan window has also closed. Let's talk about Chelsea's defending, which has become a bit of an issue. Has it? Yes, I think so. Anthony, what is wrong with? Or let's go to Bright. Bright, let's hear from you for the first time, Bright. Bright, can you hear me? Bright, can you hear me? I can't hear Bright. Bright, you can't hear me, right? Okay, Bright, I can hear me. So let me go to Daniel. Daniel, let's talk about the Chelsea defense issues. What do you think? Is it a problem with our defensive tactics, or it is a problem with the personnel? Are those defenders just that bad, Christensen and Zuma, as we had in that game, or it is about the coaching defensive tactics itself?
Well, I will not put too much blame on the personnel, because we've seen how Zuma was aggressive in many occasions. Let's just say that it all comes to consistency. Lampard is not being consistent with the players he is supposed to use. In every game, Lampard uses a new set of defenders, and that is not helping the defenders. We all saw when Liverpool was gelling up, they were conceding a lot of goals, but once the coach was able to get his back four and be able to set them right, they were able to give him the results that they needed. So I think Lampard has to get his defense, get the personnel that he needs for the job, and always make sure that these are the people that I'm going to use. If there's going to be a change, it should come because there's an injury, not because someone makes a mistake and you drop the person and bring in a new one. When that happens, it makes the players, it is difficult for them to even communicate to each other. And now we've seen that there's also a problem with communication in our team for the defense. It's like it is becoming English boys against the French boys. So those who are not able to understand the English, they will not be able to communicate well with the French guys. So I think Lampard has to stick to a set of defenders, and that will really help Chelsea.
Let's take your take on the defense, Anthony. Chelsea's defense, defensive tactics, or the boys are just not good enough? Those defenders.
Yeah, as the guy really said right now, I think it's Lampard's problem as well.
Daniel, as Daniel spoke, yes.
Yeah, as Daniel has spoken, and I think since last season till now, Lampard didn't have first 11. Up till now, Lampard didn't have first 11. And you can see today is Rudiger, Zuma. Tomorrow, Princess Zuma, like he's always missing the defense. And if you are doing that, you will not get the best out of them. If today there's tomorrow that, and I think we need to support them as well. And we can see Zuma, the confidence level of Zuma is coming up nowadays. We just need somebody to pair with. And yesterday, I thought he would use Tomori and Zuma at the Edison yesterday, because as for Christensen, but I think maybe because of I watched him against is it Croatia? He was up in the game. He did very well, but that doesn't mean that you have to come back and straight forward to this. And he have been lazy in his previous games for Chelsea. So if he did well in international, it's not like that's the 100% guarantee that you have to just bring him straight forward. And I still have a problem with Lampard. I have a problem with Lampard because you can't tell us that's what Thiago is not fit because he traveled to Brazil. How? A lot of all the players, Firmino, Alisson, all those Everton striker, they all went to Brazil. They all went to play the game and they came back. So what is it that every day this guy is not fit? This guy is not fit. And he needs to get his first 11. The first set. Up to now, he doesn't. Today is Aspilicueta. Tomorrow is James. It is up to now. But I can see now Chilwell have take the left back. And now we need to get the other this Zuma to have taken over. So we need to get our 4-back set. And I think that would be the problem. So Lampard have to up his game. If not, I'll continue criticizing until he up his game because we gave the job to everything that will happen. We are not going to blame the players. He will take the responsibility. It's just that if like a student fail, they are not going to blame the this thing. They are going to blame the teachers. From the headmaster, he also give the blame to the teachers. So we employed him to do the job. That's how made us to also pay our distance to watch the game. So you have to give us the best, which we'll be happy. This wasn't the Chelsea that we used to know. Akrema Chelsea, which we made this, so you have to up his game and make this in. The boys bring the best out of them. The guys can really do well. We believe in him that he allowed them to play the young stars.
Okay.
So you have to just bring the best out of them.
Ebenezer, what have you made of that defense?
Well, we have a problem with our guys and then the manager as well. If you are telling me that Thiago Silva traveled from Brazil to England and so therefore he got injured while sitting in the plane, then there's a fault or there's a mistake with the coach. Apart from that, there's a little bit of confidence lacking between Zuma and then Christensen. These two pairs is not working. I thought I was hoping that Lampard will use Tomori and then Zuma because during the Liverpool game, when Tomori came on, he did pretty well. So I was expecting him to start Zuma and then Tomori. It didn't work through because you see, the moment you use Christensen and then Zuma with Kepa, then we all know that there's going to be a problem with our defense. Why? Because there's no communication between these three guys or the four, and then there's no leadership at the back when there's a game. And then we are not having Thiago Silva. If you think that Thiago Silva is not having the ability to play all 36 games, then why do we have to waste time on Thiago Silva? Then get in a better defender who can, play 36 or 37 matches in a season. We can use that money. The money is there, so we can spend it, and then if it is Koulibaly that we need, we can go and buy Koulibaly. If Upamecano, we should go and buy him because we need a consistent player, not somebody who can play 2-3 games and then the next 5 games he has to sit down and then gain his energy. That is not what we need. Lampard, he himself is aware that don't tell Ivanovic they were playing day in, day out. They were having the strength to do so. So if you think that Thiago Silva's age will not help him, why don't you go in for a defender who can help, who can play about 38 matches in a season so that we are free? We won't come and sit here and be talking about player who is not fit, who needs some strength, who needs some rest to play the next game. No, it shouldn't be happening. So it's about the boys and then the manager as well.
Boys, manager, let's go to the midfield. And I hope you guys are keeping in mind what your starting lineup should be against Sevilla, because that's the next one. The question we'll answer before we end. But let's talk about the midfield. Let's talk about the midfield. I don't know what Lampard was thinking, and I normally want to give coaches and players the benefit of doubt all the time. But to start the game and having Mason Mount playing on the left wing and having Pulisic playing on the right wing was interesting for me. Very, very interesting. I don't know what you're thinking. Yao, what did you think about the midfield for Chelsea against Southampton?
George, to be honest with you,
yes.
this thing, it's all about Lampard. I keep saying this. Lampard. Now let's see. If I don't know if you look into the group, the one of the WhatsApp group, I sent some things. This Kante and Jorginho. My question here is who stays and who goes up front? That is the question. If you are a coach and your mindset is attacking game, if you really want to play an attacking game, what do you need to do? In as much as you move your players forward, you have to make sure, say, you have somebody who stays at back, because when they break play, it's going to be dangerous. So always there should be someone who always shows the back line. I was saying this thing that under Jose Mourinho, you could see Mikel Obi playing 90 minutes without even crossing the center line. Mikel Obi can barely play the full time without crossing the center line, because that is the instruction he picks from the coach. Don't go, because if you go, you left your defenders exposed. Look at it. Kante and Jorginho, both all out, because that is the instruction they pick from Lampard. Go out. Now, when you go, they break play. Who is going to protect? No one is there. You see, there should be someone who's supposed to be what? Who's supposed to be there? So let's assume Jorginho goes. Kante stays back and do the dirty work. That is it. Let's go for attack without thinking about your back. It's really, really bad. It's super bad. And that hurt us yesterday. I can't just imagine the two midfielders over there, the two strong midfielders over there are not on the ball. Whilst there is so much space for this Southampton people to operate. So imagine when you look at, I'm sure you look at those things on Twitter or whatever it is. I'm sure you have a look at those pictures. That same particular weakens me, because it really shows how bad tactical the coach is. So fast forward, he needs to work on that. Let Kante be the deep lying sitting midfielder in front of the defenders. That is what we know him for. You see, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be blaming players. The reason being that these players, when you look at what they've been doing before Lampard came in, is absolutely different from what they are doing right now. You see, Conte came and he used the players that we thought are not in that good position. Victor Moses. Conte used Victor Moses. We all see what Victor Moses did, because the coach was able to pick out the good from the player. But if you are a coach and you can't pick out the goods from your player, always there's going to be a problem. That is the reason why I'll keep mentioning Lampard. Yeah, he needs to learn. He needs to learn each and every. Okay, because we can't just continue being in this mess. We'll also be saying we need time to gel. No, never. Let Lampard work his status very well and bring out the goods of these guys, because we all know we having a fantastic world of players all together.
Okay, Lampard still in trouble there. Let's take another thought on it. Jacob, thank you very much for joining me. How are you doing, Jacob? Jacob was absolutely deflated with the 3-3 draw. But I hope you are better now. How are you doing, Jacob?
I'm good. I'm good, Joel. I'm good.
Jacob is good. All right. So, Jacob, tell me about, what did you think about the midfield and Chelsea's midfield against Southampton yesterday?
It was very shambolic yesterday, because I second what my guy just said. You see, when you are defending and all the two players cannot go just like that and leaving the back behind just like that. You see, and secondly, to our defense, you see the other time I was telling you about we're going for a killer defender when the Chelsea got open. You see, Zuma and Christensen at the back there. It's not good for us. We cannot depend on Thiago Silva alone. If Thiago gets injured right now, are we going to use Tomori, Zuma, and Christensen to win the league, or to do what? Because those guys cannot help us now. You see, and even Lampard has to work well on the defensive aspect, because for me yesterday I was very, very disappointed, because Timo getting his 2 goals, and then after we couldn't celebrate that 2 goals, was very, very disappointed to me. You see, so
You have a problem. I think.
If not, then we have to go for the new coach because if you know.
Chelsea fans will get you low. Okay, anyway. You want to go for a new coach already? No, okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
You know, which Chelsea fans we don't have time. We don't have time because the game is started and we have to do something quickly. You see, last season we weren't able to buy players, and this is getting the players you want. So you have to do something. You can't wait to get declared before you can say your team is full now to do something. For me, we going for declaration will not help us.
Yes.
Going for declaration, we can get a killer defender to control the back. If we get even what is worrying me is that what wrong as
Rudiger,
and still keep him on the bench. You see, during the international break, he played well. So why don't you get if Thiago is not there, why don't you get Zuma then Rudiger there than playing Christensen? Because Christensen for some time then he forgot himself on the field of play. You see, for me that guy there, I don't think he's going to act very, very well. And even to and Kepa to it's probably it's beginning it's coming worse too much. Yeah. So
I get where you come from. Now you know what the first analysis.
I don't know his problem now. The pressure on him is too much. The pressure on Kepa is too much for him. You see, when immediately he got to the pitch, then he started thinking a lot. Hey, am I going to concede goals again? Am I going to do this? He will start the best for them. So for me, the Lampard for
okay, Kepa.
I will not predict him
by December. Ando Obeng Jeremiah has joined us. Ando, how are you doing? Hello, Ando. How are you doing?
I'm fine, boss.
Good. Ando, it's good to have you here. We're just talking about the Chelsea midfield.
It's good to be here.
Now, some have said, well, they are not too sure what they. Yeah, right. Okay. You got a feedback where you are now. Okay. Is it better? No. I think we got a feedback where you are.
I mean, can you hear me now?
Are you in town? You're in town. It feels like you're in town.
Yeah,
I can hear you, but there's a feedback behind you. Let's see.
Town.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, let's quickly take your thoughts. Let's quickly take your thoughts on the game. Where do you think Lampard needs to improve so that we can let you go? Where do you think Lampard needs to improve? Okay, whilst we try and sort it out, I was just going to a more technical question. Brian O'Neill, how are you doing? Brian, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm good.
Are you good?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, Brian, I can't hear you well. Can you respond? Are you okay? Are you good?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm doing good.
Difficult to hear Brian. All right. Right, it's difficult to hear Brian as well. So let's go. Let me come to you. We've done the analysis about Kante, Jorginho. It was difficult to know what was happening. Okay, Brian is here. Brian, can you hear me now?
Yes. I can hear you.
Brian, can you hear me? Good, Brian.
Yes.
Let's talk about the midfield of Chelsea before I go to Ebenezer. And what did you make of Lampard? Switching the roles or positions there of Mason Mount and Pulisic. They're playing opposite ends of the wings. What was he thinking? How did you see that?
When you look at the formation Lampard was playing, I don't know whether he actually wants to play Mount as a free player or whether to use Kai Havertz as a free player. That is the issue that he's having now. And then when you look at the defensive midfield, we don't have a certain player who actually plays that. So look at Kante moving forward and then coming back whenever he loses the ball. And it takes some time to get him back. And then when you look at Jorginho, you know Jorginho and his capabilities. He lacks that period where he's supposed to intercept balls as a defensive midfielder, which is not possible. So if that is the case, we need someone who can pair with Zuma so that it helps. But looking at Christensen and the whole thing, it's very something. It's very, very something. That is the issue we are facing now. So if possible, Lampard can get a certain or a concrete defensive midfielder who will play as a certain midfielder and defensive midfielder in front of the defenders. Okay, so that it wouldn't be like Kante is moving, Jorginho is also moving. So we would like some two defensive midfielders who are supposed to be in front of the defenders to also intercept balls. So that is the issue we are having now. Please, can you hear me?
So, yes, I can hear you. It looks like all around the table, everybody is pointing to a certain lack of a central defensive midfielder or the lack of someone paying attention to that role. It looks we have 2 and 3 of the guys advancing all the time. The Jorginho and Kantes, they are all advancing and they're leaving the defense, which is already not good, with issues with our goalkeeper stripped. Okay, let's talk about trying to score the goals, trying to get the goals. It was great. I mean, I can't believe that we are so down at the weekend where Timo Werner scored 2 goals. That's what happened. Timo Werner scored 2 goals. Kai Havertz scored a beautiful glider as well. So it's just on the other side. Pulisic and Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount gives his best in the game, but is Lampard at this point? Let me ask this question. Maybe you guys be very honest with me. Is Lampard struggling at this point because he has gone for players without premeditating or having an idea of what he wanted to use the players for? Because I look at the set of players that Chelsea has got right now, and anytime you think about how to use them, even in the way they were using their former clubs, it means there has to be a different shift. Like the formation has to change, and Lampard is now having to learn about how to use Timo Werner, how to use Kai Havertz, how to use, Mount, how to blend what he had last season with what he's gotten this season. I don't know if you guys get that vibe. Anthony, let me start with you. Do you get that vibe as well? That Lampard is struggling to accommodate almost everybody into a certain system, but the people don't look accommodable at the moment.
Yeah, like as you said, I can see Lampard is right now. I think selection is his problem right now. I can see that because Kai right now, I think Kai Havertz, he needs to give that guy a free role. I don't know. He's having a problem how to play Mount, and because Mount is also a guy which I learned. The guy too is also serious. He's always training because he also see the pressure coming. So he also wanted to be in the first level. He's also training very hard. And Mount too is like Kai Havertz, you have to give the guy because watching him yesterday very well, we have a very great player which in the next 3-5 years we are going to get a good out of him. But have a problem with the way he played this guy, Mount and Pulisic yesterday. He played them out. I don't know. I think yesterday we need Odo in the game because I can see Timo need crosses from the wings. Timo Werner need crosses from the wings. He's a type of player which he need balls from the wings, which you have to carry on and go. And playing Mount, this guy yesterday, Kante. Let me send you back to that way. Which type of game is Lampard playing? Is he trying to play attacking football without defending it? Because right now we don't have any defensive midfielder like who we use to like the way this Antonio Conte used Kante, the guy which when the attackers are going, they lost the ball, you not pass by him at the midfield. He's attacking, like he's there always at the like doing this thing. Even when he lost the ball, you go, but now you can see Kante going up and down, and I'm not getting the flow. Lampard, I'm not getting the flow. I think Lampard need to go back to Championship and go and learn and come back. I think he's not really for the job. Because we have the players. We have the players.
Okay. All right. I've got a few comments on YouTube right now. Let me see if I can go through them. Killer Cake says, "Sure, the issue is a defensive structure." Well, that's what Lampard must get right, defensive structure. And he says, "I agree to you. You used to teach me." He says, "Okay, well, that's good." Let's get back onto this. Let's get back onto this right now because we are having to answer very serious questions. What is the best system right now with the boys we have? Ebenezer, if I gave you the Chelsea team, what would be the best system you would just deploy? What we have? Will you do a 4-4-2 just to save matters right now?
I don't think I'll go in for 4-4-2. My best system that I'll use could be probably 4-4-2-3-1. That
Yeah,
is
so
going to be
so immediately, well, Ebenezer there, but immediately you mentioned the 4-2. Immediately you mentioned a 4-2 or a 4-1 or a 4-3. My question is, who is that central defensive midfielder who is supposed to shield the defense? Because it is clear in all the games that we have played that that person is missing.
George, I will let you know that we are Chelsea and we've watched Chelsea matches. 2014, when Jose Mourinho won the EPL,
yes,
we had Matic, we had Fabregas. Fabregas was pushing, giving the passes, making the assists, and then Matic was the one in the central midfielder to break down attacks from opponents. That was the job of Matic. Now we come back to Antonio Conte.
Yes.
We had still Fabregas, and then we had N'Golo Kante. Kante was the best midfielder in the EPL or midfielder. Why? Because Fabregas was doing all the passes, giving the chances or creating the chances, and then Kante or the Kante guy was sitting just in front of the four, breaking up a counter attacks. But Frank Lampard came in, and then you see Kante running everywhere. I can't even find out the real position of Jorginho. If you want Jorginho to create, let Kante stay. Kante stay, don't go. Let Jorginho go to be doing the creativity. But this one, we can't find out if Jorginho and Kante will not work. Kante and then Kovacic will work. Why? Because Kovacic likes, creating and then linking up with the front liners. So you use Kante and Kovacic. Tell Kante to stay. Let Kovacic go. And then Kante will definitely say, because you are the coach, you are issuing instructions. So that when the players get to the pitch, they don't do whatever they like. They will do as you say. So Kante stay, Kovacic go. Kante will stay and then be breaking up counter attacks. This is what I will do. Kante, Kovacic. Kovacic will be creating, help the front liners to create. Kante stay in front of the four. And then I will normally play Pulisic on the best position. That is the left wing back. Why do you have to intercede? Are you just creating some, space or position for Mason Mount? Is that what I should think? Yes, I have to think so, because we know Pulisic last season, the best position for him was the left wing. So why do we have to now change? So it's not that some of us we hate Mount. We don't hate Mount. He's a Chelsea player. We like him. But if you can't use him at the right position, it's going to be difficult for us, because I don't understand why Pulisic, the best player for Chelsea, maybe probably arguably last season, the best player, and then you play him out of position. Yesterday, Pulisic was running up and down, and there was nothing effective. It was not effective because there's Mount. If you think that Mount can play the 10 role, why do you then go in for Havertz? They use that 17 million pounds for Koulibaly, who can come and defend for us. You know all these things, but you didn't do. Now you are trying to create a position for Mount. If you think that Mount can play, you bench Havertz. If you think that Havertz will play, you have to bench Mount, and then you continue with the game. So why do you have to do all these things, Lampard? I bought yesterday, and then sorry, let me end there, okay? Let me end there. I bought.
I think you made the point. You made a fantastic point there. Let me come to you, O'Neill, again. O'Neill, in that midfield, confusion. Right now, we don't know what Lampard is thinking. I mean, that's the difficult thing for us. He's so confused, and we're so confused, and he's confusing everybody because he just has to make the decisions. We don't see the decisions coming in through. How confused are you about Lampard's squad when the game starts? O'Neill. Yeah, O'Neill, you have to unmute. Unmute for me. Yeah.
Please, can you
Yeah,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yes,
You
I can hear you.
know,
Go ahead.
when the game started, we saw what Kante was doing. We saw what Jorginho was doing. Because I don't know whether there was no pressure on the team because we were kind of possessing the ball right from the start. The attacking was great.
Yeah.
You know, if you are attacking, fine. But you also have to look at if there is a pressure on the team, how will my midfielders also react to that kind of pressure? Now we can see that Jorginho is a very creative player, just like a little of a bit close to Fabregas that we had earlier some time ago. You understand? Yeah. And when Conte was around, we could realize that he was playing Kante as a defensive midfielder, where this formation was working 3-5-2. So you could see that Alonso was going as well as Victor Moses was going, and we had Kante to cover up for both the left wing back and then the right wing back. We could realize that where Hazard was also playing his role. But this is a period where Mount, we don't know whether he's an attacking midfielder, whether he's a left wing, whether he's playing him as a right wing. We don't actually know. And this is a period where, when you look at Kai Havertz's position, I don't know, he's not that type of player who can run all over the park like you expect him to do. So actually, you need a midfielder who can do the running. But you look at Jorginho, for instance. Jorginho can't run throughout. Kante can run throughout the field. But the position of Kante has now swapped with Jorginho. So Jorginho is actually sitting right in front of the defenders, expecting to start a play right from the defenders now through towards the attackers. But when you look at the whole thing, Jorginho becomes a little bit confused as to whether to still maintain his position or to move ahead. You understand the whole thing? So you realize that Kai Havertz was always retarding backwards. So we could realize that Kai Havertz was always retarding backwards to find out or to take the ball right from the defenders and then move a little bit ahead. And we could also realize that Pulisic yesterday was only one ball or two balls that I realized that Pulisic was having an impact on the team because he was moved from the left wing to the right wing. We saw last season about 10 matches or less than 10 matches that Pulisic played. We could realize that there was a much impact on his play from the left wing. You understand? And when you look at Timo like this, yesterday I was very, very happy when we had 2 goals from the striker. He's massively very good and very, very sharp. So what do? We have Jorginho who can release ball to a certain distance. From where, look at the pass he gave Kai Havertz, the Timo Werner yesterday. We will realize that it's a very creative pass. But as to giving that pass and then defending is another issue we are having now. So if Lampard could make it very clear that, okay, I'm going to play 4-2-3-1, where Kai Havertz is going to be a free player in front of the 2 defensive or 2 midfielders. And the 2 midfielders are going to sit right in front of who? The defenders. You understand? So if it is going to be Jorginho and Kante at the 2 midfielders right in front of the defenders, cool. Where the 2 of them will be a box-to-box midfielders. You understand? And then Kai Havertz will be a free player, possessing the balls, releasing passes to Pulisic, and then if we have Ziyech back, Pulisic, Ziyech, and then Werner, so that they can also run. When you look at the 3 players in front, they are very, very good when it comes to speed. They are very, very good when it comes to possessing the ball. They are very, very good when it comes to converting chance to a goal. You understand? So if possible, Lampard can.
Okay. All right.
If possible, Lampard can hold on.
I can see. Yeah.
If possible, Lampard can be certain with his position, his formation in particular, his formation in particular. As of now, realize that right from the start of the season, we could see him introducing Loftus-Cheek. Whilst we saw how he played, which wasn't good. And Mount is also an on and off player. You understand? So if possible, Mount can start from the bench, where you have Kante, Jorginho, and Kai Havertz as the midfielders. Then you have Pulisic on the left wing, Ziyech on the right wing. Then Werner will do the running. And I promise you, finally, the defenders we are having. I don't know, Lampard, ever since he came to Chelsea, he has not been certain with the pairing of defenders. And we realized, I realized on social media, someone posted, I think Kepa made an input. Now, when you look at the keeper, he doesn't know the kind of defenders he's going to gel with. It's the kind of defenders he's going to gel with. Whether he's gelling with Zuma and whether he's gelling with whether he's gelling with
it's difficult for him. So I mean, your point
and Christensen.
I think your point is well made. Yes, O'Neill, I think your point is well made. Clearly, Lampard has issues with deciding what his best team is, and he's still looking for his first team, and that's the problem. He's looking for his first team in critical areas, looking for his first team in defense. It's a mess at the moment until he can decide what to do. And even it's difficult now for Lampard to even assess which system is good, because he doesn't even know which system to stick with and say, okay, I'll stick with this one and see if it is good. And that's where Chelsea basically is right now. Happy for Timo Werner, scored a goal, scored his 2 goals. Kai Havertz, of course, off the mark was good. Overall, when you look at the weekend, you feel, okay, well, maybe we had a point. But the truth is, we could have done better. We could have won that game and would have pushed us up there. The season is, from the way the season is going, it's a very open season. And anyone who can take it serious can win it, basically. Liverpool having Virgil van Dijk out for 8 months opens up so many possibilities. Man City are also having their own issues. So it's there for the taking, this season. It's there for the taking. Anyone who wants to can be serious and go ahead with it. Let's talk about the game. We have a big game on Tuesday. Chelsea up against Sevilla. And we know Sevilla are such a great team. And if you watch their progress under Julian Lopetegui, he's very good. And I get very worried anytime Lampard is coming up against, very experienced coaches. That's when, because they're able to play a fast one on him and he cannot even read the game again and we're in trouble. So he'll rely heavily, Lampard will rely heavily on the brilliance of the boys on the pitch, because playing a Spanish side is difficult. I think he's won games here, but I think Julian Lopetegui is going to be a very difficult coach to handle in this one. We're expecting him to win, because if we don't win that game and we don't win against United as well, that will be too much pressure for the boys in the space of a week. We have seen clubs have very tough fixtures and cleared them all. Tottenham Hotspur said they were having tight fixtures and they won every game in that, so we need to do better. What are you expecting in the game against Sevilla? Let me start with you, Yao. Yao, let me hear from you. Whilst Yao is setting himself and getting ready. Yao, are you there? Okay, let's go to Echo. Echo, let me hear from you. What are you expecting against Sevilla?
Chelsea, and then when Sevilla lost their game over the weekends. Yeah, Sevilla just lost their game, I think 1-0. Yeah, and then
go ahead. Go ahead. No, Echo, go ahead. You're muted. Go ahead, please. No, Echo, you are still muted. Kindly unmute. Yes. Okay. Yes. Go ahead, Echo.
Okay. So I was saying that personally, I'm very happy. Sevilla losing their game by 1-0. So what I need from Lampard is to steady this team, a team that beats Manchester United on the pitch, Sevilla did all what it takes to win, and I think Lampard watched that game. I'm very sure. An England opponent playing in the Europa League, I think it's a semi-final or quarter-final. Lampard will definitely watch that game, and then he should take a clue from the Sevilla players. They are very good players. They can run for the full 90 minutes. And then looking at this Chelsea team, when they have a better first half, the second half is nothing to write home about. When they have a good second half too, the first half will be very shambolic. So personally, I find it very tough. Chelsea playing Sevilla. It's not a cool game, but hopefully you can get 1-0, 2-0, and then you can head on to the next game. So it's a very tough game, but I think Chelsea will come good at the end of the match. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the Sevilla game.
Your thoughts? You are in high spirits. That's good. Yeah. Let's see how it all goes. Don't know if Jacob can hear me. Jacob, what are you expecting against Sevilla? Jacob, are you there?
I'm here.
Jacob, if you're there,
I'm here.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Jacob, what are you expecting against Sevilla? What are you expecting against Sevilla?
I'm expecting a tough game. But Lampard needs to do those things well. Then we go through. But if Lampard loses this match and then loses this Saturday match against United, he has to be fired straight off. Because Sevilla is going to be a tough game, and the way Lampard is going. If we don't do our things well, these guys are going to punish us severely. You can see what they did to the other clubs. You see, their match yesterday doesn't mean they are going to lose against. Because for me, I know what they can do. That's why these guys are very serious in playing. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. What do you expect against Sevilla? Yao Young, what do you expect against Sevilla? Okay, Yao can't hear me somehow. So I'll go to Ando. Ando, are you there? Ando, I can't hear you as well. Okay. Let's go to Ebenezer. Ebenezer, what are you expecting?
Well, George, I think that Tuesday is a tough game. I've watched Sevilla for a couple of times, and they are a very stubborn team. Very, very stubborn. If you don't take care, these people will spoil the party for us on Tuesday. And I think that Lampard should go in for Kovacic and then Kante in the midfield. We've seen Kovacic being played as a central midfielder for a couple of games last season and even this season. I think last season you used him in the central defense position, and then I think he did pretty well. So we should go in for these two players in the midfield so that we can bully the Sevilla midfield and then overthrow them or overcome them on Tuesday. If not, that game is going to be difficult, to be honest with you. So I don't expect
very difficult game, yeah. Very, very difficult game. And we're going to be sitting right after the game to discuss what we saw. So many people want to join. Well, we're just at the tail end of it anyway. So let me go to Daniel. Daniel, what are you expecting? Daniel, have you spoken? What are you expecting on Sevilla? Against Sevilla, what are you expecting in that game?
Well, I am expecting the game to become a very open game because, as we know, the Sevilla players, they are very swift, and we are having defenders who are, let me say, lazy to run behind the ball to go in for a tackle. So Chelsea, we will get goals, but if we are able to do our defending well, I think it should be a win for Chelsea. I am expecting Lampard to make 3 changes against Sevilla. Mendy for Kepa, Kovacic for Jorginho, and Odoi in place of Mason Mount. That is what I expect. And I think it will help us to get a win over Sevilla.
All right. That is good. That is good. Let's see who hasn't spoken. Brian O'Neill. Brian, what is what are you expecting against Sevilla? Very quickly. What are you expecting, Brian?
We hello.
Yes, go ahead, Brian.
We actually performed. We didn't perform well this weekend, and I don't know. The confidence of the players are kind of coming up as compared to when we started the season. So what I expect is, we need more confidence in order to play good matches. So I expect better. I expect a good game. Sevilla is not a small team when it comes to European matches or European cups. So I'm expecting a good game, and in fact a win to say. If Lampard could make a right decision as to the men he's going to use to face Sevilla, that is the issue now. I pray, as someone said, that if possible, Mendy should be around, and we should have Thiago Silva in and Kovacic playing, as well as, if not Ziyech, we will get Hudson Odoi playing for the right wing, and I hope we'll have a win. I know we are going to win. I believe in the players. I still have hopes in the players. Yes, that the coach is supposed to make some